All right, we will call this meeting to order. We'll do roll call, please.
Okay, Member Alred?
Present.
Chairman Oberhue?
Present.
Member Dowds?
Present.
Member Keenan? Here. And for the record, Member Thomas and Russ are absent today.
Okay. All right, do we have certification compliance with the open meetings?
Yes, I certify this meeting has been posted in compliance with the open meeting resolution adopted. It's 2022-01.
Okay, all right. May I get an approval of the agenda?
I make a motion that we approve the agenda.
Do you have a second?
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, then all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, the agenda will be approved. You have also before you the minutes of the previous meeting, I believe, and do you all have the minutes? I've got the minutes.
I have a resolution.
I have the resolution. I've got the minutes, though, so.
You're the only one with minutes?
Yeah, you want me to pass them around? We can defer it and stuff, so we can pass it around and let everybody take a look at them and see, so. Okay. Oh, James, can we? That way he's officially on record, so step through the speaker, right? So, okay. All right, we will move on to the finance report. He's even going to go to the other phone, with whatever that means, so.
This I don't have with us either. I didn't have to use them. I wanted to give you all an update on the housing trust fund and where we were at with that because of the donations from the motorcycle rally and other charitable donations that we have received. So I'll bring that back to you all in January.
Okay. Okay, here, I'm going to call him back and we'll just put him on speakerphone here, so. How about if we just do it through speakerphone here? Will that work? Okay. No, not a worry. So let's recognize Member Russ as being present at the meeting if we can. So, all right. We do not have a financial report, so we will go into new business. Update on discussion on 114 Meacham Drive.
Okay, thank you, Chairman. Board members, we have started delivering and placing homes at 1114 Meacham. We have 3 on site, and they're going to continue moving quickly for the next couple of weeks. Once they're placed, then we just need to connect the electricity and the plumbing, and then they'll go put the skirting, and we'll be ready to start moving in residents. So that should be happening before mid-December.
So the infrastructure's in place on the property?
Yes.
Okay, good.
And we won't, all units are electric, so we won't have natural gas. It's just the 2 utilities. I passed out this resolution that we crafted. It's for the special council meeting on Monday. And I'll go through and read it. I'm hoping you all can make any recommended changes or support it as written. The governing body has received or they will receive a copy shortly from the clerk's office. But I wanted to make sure I had you all weigh in on the resolution. One thing I need to mention, at the 1114 Meacham Drive development, we were only able to accommodate 17 units. We do have 18 purchased, and so on Monday we're doing a rezone of 99 Sunny Slope. It's a triangular lot at the intersection of Sunny Slope and White Mountain Drive, and it's right across from the T-ball fields. So that's where the additional two-bedroom manufactured home will be placed. We're going from a planned unit development zone to M1, which is low-density manufactured homes. And so we'll still be able to have that. And since that's a relatively level lot, we're thinking of making that an entrance that's ADA accessible compared to some of the ones over here that have to have a deck built up.
Well, there's currently stored units there in the parking lot at the ball field.
Yeah, at the ball field on Gavelin?
No.
Oh, over here by the fire station? Yes.
Sunny Slope.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be just across the street, almost.
I'm not sure if that specific unit will be placed across the street, but yeah. We will be putting one there, and then the rest are going, if y'all went to the Jubilee, there were some
Okay.
stage there as well. So,
I was going to ask you that, because there's two units there. I thought, oh, the contractors are staying there?
They made me move from the polling, you know. Did Tim tell you that?
for the voting and stuff,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, we were set up and the mobile home guys made us move. So anyway, it's okay. So,
So are you saying everything is in place except for the hookups and placing the units? Mm-hmm. Because I've had a lot of questions from people saying, we don't see any action going on.
Oh, if they go by now, they'll see the homes being
Okay.
brought in, so.
I was gonna say, they haven't looked because I know it had to be delayed because of the mud and everything.
Yes.
But it's been going on, so.
My question will reveal that obviously I don't walk the links enough, but is the detour still on the walking path?
To my knowledge, they were working on getting that fixed last week, but I don't know if it still is. I haven't been out to the links and I don't know how
But we
long.
can look forward to.
Yes, they will restore it,
having restored.
pave it again.
And who's getting the priority on this?
Our McBride fire victims are first priority, and then followed by anybody with a household income of 140% LMI and below.
Okay.
So
So-
will they have a fence between the walking path and those homes, or,
Yes, that's going to be our top priority to get that shielded.
and do they have the first three families chosen already, or?
Our property manager that works for Berkshire Hathaway, she has a running list of people that have reached out.
Okay.
And so they'll be notified first, and then they'll follow, I guess, just first come, first serve.
Okay.
What about some of the government workers that are commuting from Roswell Police and how about you, Todd? Any nursing or health professionals that are,
Oh, there's definitely be some interest from our staff, so.
Yeah.
But did you say there's a waiting list? So,
She's keeping a list. We haven't been able to assign anyone to a home yet. Once this resolution is passed, we'll be able to
okay,
do agreements with them. So if they do have a need and fall under that, they can reach out to Berkshire Hathaway and add their name to that list.
okay. All right, sounds good.
So as we go through this, the top part just tells the story of where we're at with this development. We're calling it Meacham Meadows. It's for individual families of 140% and below, and that we have a housing shortage. I'm preaching to the choir, but we need to adopt this resolution in order to move forward with placing residents. And so if we turn to Exhibit A, you'll see a rental unit cost. Those are being finalized because we're waiting on quotes for the decks. Everything else has already been accounted for. The development cost and the home cost has already been added, but we need the final on the decks, as well as when you go to the pet policy, they we're going to ask the governing body if we would like the tenants to bear the cost of putting a fence, or if that's something they wanted us to go ahead and take care of as tenants with pets have the need. And so if there is going to be a fence that's at our cost, we're going to have to add that into the development
Deposit.
cost, and which will raise the rent for these people. So that'll be discussed on on Monday, but this is what our property manager recommended. So she said no more than 3 domestic pets per household.
Whoa.
What do you all think?
I think that's more than I would go for.
I know.
No, that's,
It's too
a
much.
lot.
Yeah.
We know what the park right next door, what they limit pets at, or
I have no idea.
neither, so, I don't
Depends.
know, three,
And what's the square footage of these units?
I can get that number for you. I don't know off the top of my
That's
head.
okay. I was just trying to.
Some are 3 bedrooms, some are 2. We don't
Yeah,
have any
okay, so
single.
And I remember seeing those,
I can tell you.
but I'm thinking 3 pets and like those 2-bedroom units.
Roughly 1,000 square feet,
Yeah.
just over.
The number 850 comes to mind, but I don't remember whether that was something else or what, but, I'm hesitant about 3 40-pound dogs and a.
And you all can make a recommendation, no pets. We've thrown that idea out as well, just because not all pet owners are responsible. But during our McBride fire victims meeting, a lot of them did express that was the one thing they were able to save were their pets. So
yeah.
it's tough.
It would be hard, I think, to make it no pets.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, but maybe just limit it to 2 or,
One dog. You know, when you have more than 2 dogs and that little space and all, no. You know, you can have a python or another pet like that, but, you know,
yeah. And
Hamster.
you don't have any breed restrictions, but 40 pounds is going to take care of a lot of that.
Yeah, it will. Yeah,
Does the board have a recommendation on the number?
I would say 2,
Well, I move that we adjust the maximum on the number of pets to 1 and keep the 40-pound weight limit in place.
my recommendation is 1.
so I have a motion.
I make a motion that,
Do you want to get through the whole pet policy and then
Oh, we can, are there other things to talk on? Okay,
I'll
we
read
can
your
do that,
change.
so.
I'll read your
All right.
changes and then someone
Okay,
can
we'll
just,
do
preferably a
that.
poodle.
I'll take notes.
Okay,
So 1 dog or cat or domestic pet, I guess. And then what about the weight limit of 40 pounds?
sounds like everybody was on board with the 40
I
pounds.
think that's a good,
Okay. A non-refundable $250 pet fee per pet upon move-in.
make it 300. That's what I recommend.
I think, 250 is fine from my standpoint.
Do you have a dog, Todd?
I'm a pet owner, so, and I'm
Yeah.
taking it that you're not, just so you know.
No,
yeah,
no. We even get rid of skunks.
yeah.
So we have in here that the pets must be on a leash at all times and waste must be picked up and disposed of. Pet fees are waived for service animals, as long as they provide proof. Tenants are responsible for all damage. If they wish to install a fence, then they must submit written proposal of the fencing type and location. So all work will be completed at the tenant's expense, and they must secure the permit. And if they want a doggy door, it's on their cost
Yeah.
too and needs to be approved. And they need to provide proof of rabies vaccine and registration. And then we don't want them to keep pet food outside because of the
I'm not sure about the whole doggy door.
no doggy.
Once you start cutting into the actual building, you're running a risk of,
I think
Skunks,
if you're going
raccoons.
to do that, I think there should be a fee to do that, so, that they would have to pay, because you're going to potentially have to replace the door
yeah,
with the next tenant.
yeah. And you don't want, I mean, a fee, or they have to pay for somebody approved by the village to do it, rather than being able to do it themselves.
On another topic, I see a disconnect between the requirement that pets be leashed and the allowance of a fenced enclosure. I mean, that seems like an either or.
Right, either leased or in a fenced yard,
Yeah.
probably, but,
But I think it should be done at the owner's expense, putting in a fence. Yeah,
Oh, I
that's,
agree. I think yeah, I think that's true, but I agree with you. I saw the same thing. If you have a fenced area, I don't know why they would need to be leashed. I do think the village needs to be mindful that it is not looked upon positively for people to stake a dog in the backyard and put them on a leash.
I think I need to clean up the
Unattended.
language, because that's not the intent. Like, I think if they want to go walk the neighborhood or
Right.
go check their mail, then they need to.
Be
'Cause
on a
we'll have
leash.
post office boxes.
I think we just need to look at that because you would
Yeah, I need to
not want
rephrase
to have a dog staked. We would most likely have the Humane Society visiting us as a,
I'll
yeah.
rephrase it when walking the
Okay.
dog amongst the development or something.
that
'Cause-
sounds good.
Yeah, because if
And-
they're going to check the mail, it needs to.
and I don't think they should leave their dogs outside all day when they're gone. The incessant barking is, is unacceptable. I have 3 neighbors who have those dogs.
Especially with the density of the residents in
Yeah.
that area.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be best to head off that problem early.
Definitely. Okay, so if we could make a motion to allow just one pet and
Do we want to do, say, one pet or one dog?
one domestic pet per household?
Because you could have a dog and a cat, maybe, or a dog and a gerbil, or,
Is gerbil 4-legged or 2?
4.
Well,
I don't know, what do you think? One pet or,
Our pets roam freely from our house down to the golf course and all around the village, so
yeah,
I'm not that experienced.
as Todd says, I do not have a love for animals, so, the horses come in the yard, leave their apples behind, their road apples. Well, I noticed that one family, the little girl was telling me that she lost 2 dogs and 4 cats in the McBride fire. And I thought, boy, that's a lot of pets to have. So, and I know some people love their animals, but, so,
I'm open to whatever suggestion the board would like to present to council.
one well-behaved dog. How's that?
No pythons.
yeah.
No pythons.
The only thing I would add to all this is the insurance requirements. A lot of times the liability insurance won't cover if it's what their definition of a vicious dog is, which counts pit bulls and all kinds of stuff.
It's true, but I don't know of any pit bulls that are under 40 pounds. I guess it could be, but,
Malnutrition.
That's a good thing.
yeah.
And hopefully
Yeah.
they have homeowners insurance. Because if a dog,
Yeah, renter's insurance,
Insurance,
they would
yeah.
have to have.
So it sounds like the consensus, just to summarize, is to one pet still, I think, is what I'm hearing.
well-behaved.
Now, are we counting, because I just want to be clear on this, because I don't think this is clear. Are we counting things such as snakes, gerbils, fish on that one pet area?
Again, it would be good to look at whatever kind of master policy we're gonna have to see exactly what the exclusions are. Sometimes things like that are excluded as well.
That's what this is for.
Oh, this is to submit for the policy? Okay. I'm sure we can get it covered with whatever we decide, or whatever the village is ultimately approving, so, from that standpoint, so.
That makes it tough because it can be any mix, 3 cats or a dog and a couple cats.
Or 3 fish
3 fish and you're maxed.
in one tank.
I feel like my fish are more filthy than my dog.
Suddenly, these sound like arcs.
Yes.
2 by 2.
The thing a lot of people do is they make the pet deposit refundable as long as everything's okay. That way, state law says you can charge as much as 1 month's rent without violating anything or needing to give them interest for the money. So I don't know if that's an option, if we should think about making it refundable as long as there's no damages, and then we can make it a higher amount. Maybe they could pay it over 2 months instead of all at once, so there's not a hardship.
Are these units going to have carpeting?
No,
Oh, good.
linoleum.
Okay.
That's good.
Okay, is there any other items that we feel like we need to, okay, so I think we need to take this one at a time, so
Yeah.
the Samantha can, so let's start at the beginning. So are we, not that this is an approval, but are we, as a consensus, 1 pet per household?
I'm in favor of that.
Okay. Does that exclude any type of pet such as gerbils, hamsters, snakes, lizards? Or are we saying 1 pet per
I
household?
would also hope that we don't have somebody show up with their pet goat, horse, or pig.
Chickens,
Yeah.
Does the village have any policies on,
As long as they're not a nuisance, they're allowed. So people can have chickens and things like that in the village.
yeah, but chickens leave a mess.
Not as bad as feral horses.
Yeah, but I can use that for fertilizer.
yeah, you're gonna have more fertilizer than you can imagine here in 5 years if we don't do something. I'm sorry, that's off the record, don't
Yeah.
put that in the minutes. Okay. So, okay, so we are at 1 pet, but again, so are we going, okay, are we going to count gerbils and hamsters in as that pet?
Rather than work on the exclusions, aren't we talking about dogs or cats?
Well, that's what I think that's really what the intent of this is, so.
Let's recommend a limit of 1 dog or a cat.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
just don't even go there with the fish tank.
I think so.
snake, elephant, giraffe, yeah.
Okay, so we would like to revise it to say 1 dog or 1 cat as a limit.
I'll
the
make
property.
mention that that's the recommendation.
No livestock animals.
That's good.
Yes.
Well, if you say it's a dog or a cat, then when goats are out of bounds.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, yeah, but didn't, we're back to the fish and stuff again, so, okay. So, anyway, we will say that that's the limit there, so. 40 pounds, that sounds like everybody was in agreement on 40
That's
pounds.
pretty reasonable, I
Okay.
think.
James made the suggestion that maybe we increase the pet fee, but reduce, or make it refundable upon moving it based on damages. Thoughts of the committee?
I think a $500 refundable pet deposit is reasonable.
Payable over maybe 2 months, because let's remember
Yeah.
what population
Right.
we're dealing with,
Right,
so.
yeah.
Okay,
I don't know, $500 sounds like a barrier to low-income families.
Well, that's true, but maybe they'll
True.
think twice about, do I really want to have,
because Cecilia didn't want to have any pets at all, so.
Go into that other part where maybe we can work with them and make them pay half of it the first time and the rest on the next month's rent for the pet deposit.
Would it be okay to extend that over a 5-month payout?
You mean
I
for them to pay that they could pay $100 for the
$100
first
a
5
month.
months?
yeah, I don't have a
Why
problem.
not? You know, it's incorporated to the
Okay.
contract, so if they default, the money would still be owed.
Okay, so we're gonna say a $500 pet deposit is a recommendation. It is refundable and it can be paid over the first 5 months of the lease.
Right.
Does that sound okay?
Yes.
All right. Samantha will do revisions on just cleaning up number 4 to say, well, we're just talking about walking pets and those type of things, okay? I will say this, you will potentially have with cat owners, it depends on the cat owner, but a lot of people with cats believe their cats are allowed to roam free. And so, and cats do not like leashes, I'll just be honest, so. I'm not a cat owner, so.
Yeah.
Well, if you
I do know
train,
that's an
yeah.
issue, so.
To say all dogs must be leashed.
Yeah, exactly. It's simple, just in the rules, mention dogs and not cats.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think we should have a cat, as a person mindful of the issue of feral cats.
Yeah.
I think we should put a thing in here, the cats are not allowed to roam free.
Or
I'm
they
in
have to
favor.
be spayed or
Or
neutered.
not even, they still
No,
kill
free roaming,
birds.
yeah.
So, I'm
Yeah.
just, coming from my wildlife wife's life here and stuff. so
No
I'm just-
free roaming pets, period.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cecilia. So no free roaming pets. Very good.
So they can't walk their alligator with a leash?
Well, it's not free roaming, it's on a leash. I'm glad nobody's listening in on our conversation here other than us. Okay, pet fees are legally waived for service animals. Does anybody have any concern with that?
I think we need to be pretty specific on what a service animal is. It's not an emotionally support pig or, you know, it
Peacock.
has to be a registered service animal that performs a service.
Well, it says here tenants must provide documentation, proof of a service.
Because you
animal is
can go
allowed.
online and get a
Certificate,
service
yep.
certificate for anything. But a service animal has to perform a service, and it has to be documented what service they perform. So it can't be an emotionally support.
I'm not sure, I don't really know all of the guidelines, but I don't quite understand how you would have a seeing eye dog okay and an emotional support dog not okay, which I agree with, but,
They're classified as two,
okay.
completely. So if you have a dog that detects when your blood sugar gets low for some reason, that's a service that dog performs. But if you have a dog that you just come home and tell all your troubles to, that's not necessarily a service.
Tell the ticket agent at American Airlines.
Right. Some days I feel like I'm the service human, but to my dog. But I don't know.
Who in town certifies these animals?
I was just reading it online. I'll send Todd a link.
That's,
There is a way to get it certified properly, not from one of the fake websites.
Okay.
And with a service animal, you cannot limit, if you have 5 household members that have 5, each has their own service animal, I don't think you can limit that either.
Wow.
the village will need to probably seek legal opinion on this. Would be my advice, not ours.
Yes.
Because I'm reading from the ADA, and right here it clearly says that the definition of a service animal does not have to be registered to be recognized as a service animal. That's per the ADA. So my recommendation is that the village attorney takes this one on, not us.
I think that's a
That's
good
called-
We're
idea.
going to step
called
out of this
passing the buck.
conversation.
Yeah. That's what he gets paid the big bucks for, right?
Yeah, oh, I'm just saying, because,
So we have a property manager that deals with this all the time.
yeah, so,
He can address that for us.
okay. Tenant's responsible for all damages. I think we're good with that, correct? Does anybody have any concern with the fencing information on here? So,
My only concern is every time you have somebody move in and out, they have to potentially put up a new fence, because if a tenant pays for that fence, when they move out, they may take it with them, rip it up, and so you're gonna have maybe some damage to the
ground.
ground every time.
I don't disagree with what you're saying. I think that what I would presume that if it is a permanently placed fence, so that's anything that they put concrete or anything like that, it remains with the property upon, the tenant leaving the property. So But I would defer that to the property manager on that, so I think they would regulate that for us, so. Okay, we got that, that's still fencing. The doggy door, we had some discussion about allowing a doggy door. What's the thought of the committee?
It depends on where they're placing, you know, I've seen doggy doors that are actually in the wall of the unit, and I don't know if that's necessarily a good idea.
Well, it says that the property manager will have to approve it. So I would assume the property manager would have the village's best interest on that and not allow them to put it somewhere that shouldn't be, but.
Well, first of all, you're going to have to fence in the yard because you don't want the dog to be free roaming in and out of the house with the doggy door, right?
Right.
So I nixed the idea of a doggy door. Well, that's damage to they're renting this.
Thoughts of the group?
I don't necessarily like the idea.
They're renting it, like Cecilia just said.
Okay, so our recommendation is that we'll delete number 9.
Yeah.
Okay. Tenants shall provide, and they have to have rabies vaccine and registration for the pet.
And I'm sure the registration will include a microchip.
Yeah, that would.
It doesn't.
Yeah, no.
If you buy yours from wherever, it doesn't necessarily mean there's a microchip. So now if you get it from the Humane Society, they come with a microchip.
Yeah, I think they
That's it.
probably.
But if you buy from the person that sells them.
What does the village
Walmart,
ordinance, does it say that your dogs have to be microchipped?
no.
Doesn't it? It does, and a 3-pet maximum too.
Yeah.
3-dog maximum.
I think we should put
Is it-
microchipped in here because I think that's, whatever the village ordinance says.
Well, the only problem I'd say with that is, again, remember, we're talking about low-income people, and I believe to get a microchip and plan to buy a private vet is about a $600 purchase.
Holy
So
moly.
I don't think that that's going to work
I thought it
unless,
was like $25 if you go to,
I don't think so.
Don't they have an indigent care thing for dogs?
Not for microchips. They do for rabies.
And-
Let's back up. What are the village requirements? Vaccination and, I'm not sure we need to go beyond what the village requires.
I would agree with you. I think whatever the rules are within the village, I think are adequate, but I do think, and I think the village does require vaccine, but it probably doesn't hurt to put that in here to strengthen that, so.
What about insurance? You know, a dog gets loose, bites a kid or whatever.
No, that's on the owner of the dog.
Yeah, let's hope they have.
Well,
Does that come under homeowners, renters, or what?
probably fall under renters or homeowners, I would think. So that's where it normally would. So.
It doesn't say, we probably need to update this ordinance, but it just says it needs to be a licensed pet. It doesn't say microchipped.
So in order to have a license, the pet has to be vaccinated, right?
It's the duty of the village clerk to register these pets.
Okay. So let's just say, you've got, provide management with proof of rabies vaccine. That could be, edited to say, and any other village pet requirements or something, just to.
I can cite the ordinance if you'd like. That might make it simple.
Yeah, I think you
Just
can put that
something,
in there, and
yeah,
I think
just
that'd be
In
fine.
accordance with village ordinance.
Or consistent with, in accordance with, or as provided in, yeah.
Okay.
And you better spell that out with the tenant, because some of them may not be aware of that there are ordinances.
And no one has a problem with limiting pet food outside, right?
no.
No.
Okay, all right. Anything else that needs to be added to the pet policy? Going once?
You're a pet owner, what do you see? Any loopholes?
Well, there's always going to be risk allowing pets, in a situation. It's one thing to be a homeowner and own a pet, it's another thing to be a renter and own a pet. But I think it's going to be up to our property manager to make sure that that it's proper and being handled
And
appropriately, so,
do they get rabies shots every year?
yes.
So
Well,
they-
they know that you can do a 2-year rabies shot now.
So the property manager will keep track of that to make sure.
That's what this requires.
Okay.
so, Yep. Yep. Okay. Would you like to have a motion of approval of that, Samantha?
Yes, please.
Can I have a motion to approve the recommendations we just submitted?
I move to approve the recommendations we submitted.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
For clarity, can we recap those? It is, it is one dog
Dog.
or cat?
Or one cat.
Yes.
Okay. $500 deposit payable in installments?
About 100, up to, or,
I would just say installments and let that be the
Okay,
property manager's
that's fine.
discretion.
weight limit of 40 pounds.
That's already there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
No-
Talk about edits.
Oh, okay, no,
And then strike number 9.
well, there's more. No free roaming pets, period,
Okay.
okay? And then really the only other thing we did was strike number 9.
Okay.
Does that sound right to everybody?
Yeah, those
Yeah.
4 issues, I think,
Okay.
are concerns.
Okay, that was discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, then the pet policy with the amendments is approved. All right, next.
Okay, so then the next section, is just general, rules and regulations. So, it covers when rent is due, utility notices, move-in inspection reports, normal pest control, trash, satellite and cable installation, tenant-required maintenance, yard maintenance, maintenance and repair request, after-hours emergency calls, notice to vacate, and early termination of lease, move-out inspection, the New Mexico Uniform Owner and Resident Relations Act, smoking will not be allowed inside of the units, and parking. There are 2 parking spaces allotted per unit and an overflow parking for guests. And we're recommending to council that recreational vehicles, camper trailers, and boats are not permitted to be stored at the development. And then just some useful contact information.
Did you say before that the internet is being provided with this?
It is not.
No, they'll have to purchase their own internet, okay.
It is available.
It's, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why, in my mind, I thought I heard
They
that,
have
but,
Windstream drop fiber in the ground.
okay.
Okay.
The only place in town's got fiber, why you go?
So this seems pretty comprehensive to me. A couple of questions, though. The early move-out penalizes the renter for a month's rent. And those rent fees vary by income, right?
So the rent is based upon a repair, replace, and a development cost. And so those are set forth by the type of unit that they're moving into.
So not necessarily their income, it's by the unit that the.
Correct, we're not adjusting the rates. by
And,
rate.
and what will the security deposit be? Is it a month's rent or?
That is not defined in here as security.
Okay.
Move-in deposit.
That'll be part of the lease, I'm sure,
Yeah.
that will be signed with the,
Do you have the rent calculator?
It's saved to the desktop in there. I can't,
Let me copy it and send it to your email.
but then I don't have my email in here. I don't think this is networked.
I did have a question on number
I
7,
had
tenant
explained to them that.
required maintenance. Tenants are required to replace the furnace filters every 60 days. Is there going to be some documentation that they do that? Is that every 60 days all year long? Is it every 60 days?
So these all are presented to us from the property manager.
Okay.
So I'm sure they have a tracking mechanism for these requirements.
Yeah,
We just have to establish them by resolution, and then they'll
Okay.
put that in place. There'll be formal lease agreements for each.
Is there going to be a security system? around the perimeters?
No, at this time, it's not included.
Siri decided to join us.
Okay. How many per household?
2 per bedroom maximum.
No sneaking in?
And it says 2 parking spaces are allotted per rental unit, but it doesn't say anything about not parking in the yard or,
Yeah.
Do you think we need to
Yeah.
define that? Okay.
I think so.
That's probably a good catch.
And by recreational vehicles, do they also mean UTVs and? Is that what
Yeah.
Yeah, they're almost as big as a boat. Boats are
Yeah.
specifically prohibited.
Yeah.
And what do you call those trailers you pull along, that, not the camping type trailers, but,
Utility trailer?
yes, that ought
Yeah,
to,
no, I do too.
we need to cover that too, utility trailers.
Close to anyway. Are we good with this, with the one change? In parking? Can I have a motion to approve?
I move that we recommend this resolution to village council with clarification on the no parking on grass fields.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Seeing none, it passes. All right. Update on, is there anything else under that one?
No, that's all I have for you all. But thank you. I appreciate the input, and I'll be
That's good.
presenting those on Monday.
That's good, actually, so. Update on the Mesa Apartments.
Thank you, Chairman, board members. We are working on updating our application for the 9% tax credits to the New Mexico Mortgage Finance Authority. It is still with Mesa Apartments, Colin, Kruger, and Seth. They're working on their pro forma and the unit mix to update the housing study. We have ordered that. The village will be paying the cost up front, but then Mesa Apartments has agreed to make a donation to the Housing Trust Fund to cover the cost. They're also in contact with Region 9 and ENMU Ruidoso to try to come up with services to be provided at the community center that would be open to all Village of Ruidoso residents, not just those living at the apartments. So some ideas they've thrown out, potentially childcare, English as a second language classes, anything that'll assist these residents in becoming self-sufficient too. And so they're working on putting together that scope, and then they'll present it to MFA to see if it's acceptable to gain those points on our application. The application is due January 21st of 2023, and we should know by March, at least preliminary, if we're funded. Since it is our second try at this, I think that our chances are a little bit greater than last year. They did amend the scoring to even out the playing field for rural communities. I think they expanded or changed the language with the fresh fruits and vegetables, because we lost points there being just outside of the mile radius for Albertson's grocery store. And so they've amended that. And was there something else that was changed in the scoring for this year?
There was, I just can't recall off the top of my head, there was something else that.
It's not coming to me. But there was another item that gave us a a little bit more leveraging for, the scoring. And so I don't know how many, applicants we'll be up against, but hopefully, we will be allocated that 9% tax credit so we can get this project moving forward. They're very eager to work with the community, and so we're excited to have them. They'll be going before the Planning Commission in December because they were required to obtain building permits within a year. But since we weren't awarded the tax credits, that wasn't feasible, and so they're gonna go and ask for a 24-month extension to get building permits in place.
Now, where exactly are the Mesa Apartments going to be? I am a visual person, I have,
Just north of P&M.
okay. Got it.
So is that between P&M and the Dollar General store?
Yes.
Or just on the other side of Dollar General?
Okay.
No, on the other side of Dollar General is where the manufactured home development is going in. This is, so there's P&M and it's the adjacent lot. And then there will be an empty lot there in between us and them.
And then the Dollar General.
And then the Dollar General, yeah. But then we actually own the land behind Dollar General. So,
Okay,
that's all I have.
any questions from the group?
And how many units for the Mesa Apartments?
So they have, thrown out approximately 56 with as many as 72.
Wow.
Okay,
I'll let Brad know you're coming.
he knows, sorry, talked to him, so. All right, update on the workforce, housing fair. James,
James, would you mind?
We're doing okay. We're gonna have our second of the series on tomorrow night. We are asking volunteers to get there about 4:30, maybe a little bit earlier, but that should be fine as long as you're there by 4:30. The second series is more on the home buying process. We did have a featured speaker, but with medical reasons for his wife, he had to cancel at the last minute. So I've graciously accepted the duty of trying to facilitate this tomorrow. I have some great notes from the guy that was going to speak, so I'll do that. And we've also scheduled with Everett Brophy that owns Cool Pines Home Inspection. He's going to be there as well, so I'll talk about 10, 15 minutes. Everett will talk, and that's the deal for tomorrow night.
all right,
And that's at 5 o'clock?
Starts at 5.
Starts at 5, but volunteers at 4:30. Okay, Christy, I'll help you tomorrow. I think it's still going to be light, or a little bit.
And we should have a couple booths, plus there's a couple of gift certificates left over from the last one, so we'll have prizes to give out for sure.
okay. Thank you, James, for your work on that, appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. I mean, I wish we would get more attendance. That's what we decided at the beginning of this housing fair. We were going to experiment and try to spread it out, see if one day works better than another day, or if we just should do it all at once over a weekend. So for next year, we'll regroup for sure, as long as the committee's the same, and we'll just talk about maybe doing some things a little bit different again for next year to hopefully try to get more attendance. And
Okay.
thank you, everyone.
Oh,
Oh, thank you. All right, Samantha, did you want to add anything else to that, or?
No, we had a great response from vendors that turned out. We had 7, and they each brought a $50 gift card. And so our intent was to draw and hand those out to attendees. But with the low turnout, we only handed out 3. So we saved some for this week. Tomorrow, we're expecting 4. We could have an additional person that didn't register with our online form, but, so we already have the gift cards in place, we just need the attendance. So with any luck, we'll have a good turnout. We've been advertising on Facebook, we talked
seen
about
it.
it on the radio. It's just a matter of getting people there. So we're trying, right at 5 o'clock, tomorrow.
Okay. Sounds good. All right, Community Development Department, update?
Related to housing, we have put in a capital outlay request for $1 million for workforce housing, so hopefully will be funded. We'll see. So, it's kind of short. I know everyone's got places to be, and
No,
I don't want to keep you much longer, but we're looking forward to the legislative session, and hopefully we'll get some more appropriations to bring back here to our community.
Very good.
hopefully it'll be a successful session. They haven't been for my industry in the last few years, we'll just say that.
Oh, did we need to approve the minutes?
Oh, yes. Did you have a chance to, can I get a motion to approve the minutes, or is there any
I
change?
make a motion that we approve the minutes of, let's see, September 22, 2022.
I second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, sorry.
Yeah, any opposition? Hearing none, then the minutes will stand approved. And with no further business, we'll call this meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was very good. Thank you, James.
James, thanks for bearing through and being on. Appreciate it. Yeah, no, thank you.
Thank you all, I appreciate it. I've got to get to another meeting. We're working on revitalizing the end of Sudreth over there by going into Upper Canyon.
Oh, good.
Oh, that would be nice.
Yeah.
About that in